Welcome back to my channel on episode 3 of Horror Friday, where today I review Terrifier and Terrifier 2. Enjoy! So the first movie we're going to be looking at is Terrifier. So this is a 2016 movie, independent movie. Only cost 35 grand to make. It did. Directed by and written by Damien Leone, who did write All Hallows Eve, which Art the Clown is in that as well. It's more of an anthology movie, that is. So he's in little bits of that. He's like the main, like a crypt keeper type character or whatever in them. He is. But that was played by a different character. I forgot to look up who it was. But in this one, he's played now by David Howard Thornton in the next two movies. So the movie also stars Jenna Cannell as Tara Hayes, the younger sister to Samantha Scafidi's character Victoria Hayes, Catherine Corcoran, who plays Dawn, who is Tara's best friend in the movie, a few other bit part characters. There's not a big cast in this one, it ain't, but they're the main characters, and especially David Howard Thornton, who plays Art the Clown. So pretty much the story for this one is just straightforward. It's a Halloween night, it is, and Tara and Dawn, the two friends, come across Art the Clown, who kind of starts stalking them, and then all hell breaks loose, cat and mouse, deaths, etc. It's a bog standard, straightforward movie, to be honest. Compared to the second one goes a little bit more supernatural, but this is just straightforward slasher movie, to be honest, where Art the Clown, who is becoming a very good, iconic, I reckon he will become an iconic horror character especially if they do the third movie, which I expect them to do. But yeah, pretty much a straightforward movie where he starts, he hunts down Tara and all that. It's a kind of a weird one. It's a bit like, I'm not comparing the movie to Psycho, but it's more of the thing of you're following one character who you think is the main character, but then you find out they die. Obviously spoilers for this thing, it's in the title, and it's been out for years now. He kills the younger sister, Tara, and then the older sister becomes like the main character of the movie, similar to Psycho, in other words. Like I said, it's the only comparison I've got between them two movies. It is. So that's pretty much it for the story, and that not much to say really. It is. So apart from towards the end, after he kills Tara and he's hunting down Victoria, then you got more deaths, and he kills like a guy, Mike the Exterminator, a couple of exterminators, and then the cops arrive and he kind of kills himself. Then he does at the end, Art the Clown. So then right at the end, then he comes back to life. So that's when we bring the supernatural element of it into the second movie. But my likes and dislikes for this movie are pretty much, I do like this movie. I don't know which I prefer, first or the second movie. I think this one seems it's only an hour and 22 minutes long. This one flows a bit better than the second movie. I think the second one's a bit too long in my opinion, but we'll talk about that when I get to that. So I think it's a brisk-paced movie. I do like the direction and cinematography of this movie. It does feel like a full-on 80s movie, but set in present time. It is. I think Damien Leone done a really good job on that. The music for this movie I really like as well. A bit of synth music, synth wave from the 80s. Does remind me a little bit, some parts of the music remind me of the Halloween theme. Not just the theme, but some of the music from the Halloween movies. It does. And the photography. The standouts of these movies are Art the Clown, who, as I said, played by David Howard Thornton. I think he is absolutely outstanding as the silent killer. because he doesn't scream, he doesn't do anything, he just laughs and stuff. I think he does really good. Some of the acting's okay in this movie by the main characters. Some of the bit characters are not so great, but then it is an independent movie, so I expect that really from this type of movie. It is, but yeah, definitely how Art the Clown and the practical effects of this movie is absolutely outstanding. For 35,000, very gory indeed. The standout death for this movie is Dawn, who gets wishboned, if you know what I mean, hung upside down with her legs like that, and then sword right down the middle. But it's not the first time you've seen this. If you've seen Bone Tomahawk, there's a scene in that for this, so it might be a bit of a tribute to that, to be honest, that movie. But yeah, that's probably the big standout kill of this movie. I think it balanced the gore and the kills a bit better in this movie than the other one. Like I said, in the second movie they go way over the top with some of the kills in that. But yeah, this movie I think balances it pretty good. Like I said, most of the acting's on par, being okay. It is, but not much of a storyline. If you like a bit of story, if you don't, that's fine. If you're not a big gore fan, you're not really gonna like these movies either, to be honest. It ain't. But I find this an enjoyable movie. I give it a good 6 out of 10. I do, and yeah, enjoy watching it. So yeah, that's my score for the first movie. Like I said, a few good pluses to the movie. I know a lot of people are not going to agree with me on stuff with this movie. I think it is, you either love it or you hate it. If you're a big gore fan, boom, this is movie's right up your alley. It is. If you're not, and you prefer, as they say, the more elevated horrors these days, it is, you're not going to like this movie. But especially if you're an 80s fan, you love the 80s horrors, you'll love this movie. So be right back and we'll talk about Terrifier 2. So we're on to Terrifier 2 now. So this is directed and written by Damien Leone again. This did have a budget of $250,000 this time, so considerably more than the last movie. And it did make a whopping, I'm pretty sure, $10+ million in America and that. So one hell of a return for that. And it is, you don't see many of them anymore, especially independent movies like this. Because I think this was more funded over Indiegogo or something like that. So it's the fans who put into this money. Because I don't think he wanted to go through a main distributor. It is, because they would have heavily cut this movie to shreds. So we do get a couple of newcomers in this movie. Lauren Lavera, who plays Sienna. Elliot Fulham, who plays Jonathan, and Sarah Voigt Barber, who plays the new family in this movie. It is. We do get Kaylee Hyman, who plays Brooke, Sienna's best friend. David Howard Thornton comes back as Art the Clown. And we do get a couple of cameos. Victoria Hayes, Samantha Scafidi, Victoria Hayes, that character from the first movie, comes back at the end of this movie after in a mental hospital. Chris Jericho does have a little cameo, the wrestler. It is. And we do get Leah Voicey she plays a TV horse who sings in one of Sienna's dreams, Clown Cafe, a very funny song. It is, and she does come back towards the end of the movie as an orderly with Chris Jericho at the mental hospital. So this movie is more supernatural orientated, as I said in the first one. So after at the end of the last movie, which I think I failed to mention in the first thing, of Victoria Hayes' character getting mangled, so she gets put in a mental home. It is. So Art the Clown, after he kills himself, comes back, kills the orderly, and then goes to a laundromat to wash his clothes, and then he gets a little kind of like a sidekick for the movie then and all that. So like a small kid, female version of him. She got similar makeup and all, and the clothing. It is, and only he can see. It is, and there he can see, and I think Sienna and her brother and Jonathan can see as well towards the end of the movie. I'm not too sure if that is a prior victim of his, one of his first victims maybe, but I'm not 100% sure on that. But like I said, it pretty much has the same base as the first movie, where he sees Sienna at a fancy dress shop and then gets infatuated with him and her friends and starts going on a killing spree, as the first movie did, really. It is. But this one does go more into the family of their father. Sienna's and Jonathan's father left them a scrapbook type thing with like pictures of Art the Clown and a Valkyrie suit, which Sienna is making for Halloween. It is that year. This does take place a year after the first movie. So it's like all has something to play towards this movie. Like they connected to Art the Clown. I did hear a fan theory thinking that Art the Clown could be their resurrected father. So he could have killed himself because he had dark thoughts of like Art the Clown. So instead of going for it, he kills him, but he comes back as Art the Clown. Interesting take, and we'll see in the third movie if that is the case. But yeah, it does go very much supernatural, like I said, and it feels like they're connected to Art the Clown somehow. It is, because they end up at an amusement park at the end, like an abandoned amusement park, because Jonathan gets kidnapped by Art the Clown and that little girl, and the little girl can phone her with his voice to come and pick him up. So they get there. Art the Clown goes on another killing spree with a couple of characters, and then they have a big showdown then with her and Jonathan against Art the Clown. Art the Clown kills Sienna in the movie, but because she's got a Valkyrie suit on that she made, and like in the dream, a sword she had, which I think gets destroyed earlier in the movie. She gets that and comes back to life with the sword in hand and kills Art the Clown again, severs his head. So yeah, it does go very, very heavily into the mystic, supernatural thing. It is a complicated story because it doesn't really solve anything. And the end of the movie, you think the rest of that movie was a bit like mind blowing. What was going on? The end of the movie has Victoria Hayes' character from the first movie in the mental home because she killed the TV host from the first movie. That's how she got put in. She writes on the wall in blood and all that, Art the Clown and stuff like that, and then she gives birth to his severed head. So yeah, that's the end of this movie. That's a mid credit scene that is in this movie, and it's very weird. And yeah, it kind of fries my brain a bit. This movie does compared to the first. Like I said, the first one was a pretty much straightforward slasher movie. This one's a little bit more, and yeah, it's very weird indeed. Kind of my likes and dislikes, similar to the first movie. I like the direction, I like the cinematography of this movie. I do prefer the first movie's look over this one a bit, but both very good. The acting, I think, is elevated in this movie with a couple of the characters, especially Lauren Lavira. I think she is the standout actor in this, apart from obviously Art the Clown. Like I said, the practical effects just as good, or probably better than the first movie. There is a lot of overkill, a lot of gore, a lot of overkill in this. As I said, the first one had the wishbone, that was the thing. I think it balances the gore and that in the first movie way better than this. In this one, it seems it's a 2-hour plus movie, way too long, and it does stay heavily on the gore. Like, her friend gets killed in this one, and it's literally like a 5-minute scene of him just torturing her, scalping her, ripping her back apart, breaking her arm and then ripping her arm off, then going out to the room, and you think, oh, that's done, but he comes back, pours salt and bleach all over it. I think it went way too over the top in this one compared to the first movie. It did. But the other kills, I think that's the main stick out kill, and probably the fancy dress place kill. These two are probably the over the top ones and all that. There is a couple of other kills, but I think they're a bit better. Well, it's better for the word and all that, but I think they are balanced out a bit better than these ones. It is. But yeah, pretty much similar. I can't really put these two, I think, because I prefer the first one because it's a straightforward story and it's quicker and it's a shorter movie. But I prefer, and then I like this one because it's got better acting. And like I said, the story's a bit mind messing and all that, but it has a bit more of a story in this. So I kind of class them both the same. I give the other one 6 out of 10. I probably give this one the same 6 out of 10. I am looking forward to the third one, and I can't wait for them to start filming that and see how well that is and see where they end with this story. If you like this review, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment below, and see me next week for the next Horror Friday. And I will see you then. Bye.